Hi guys, my name is Adam Zwingler, and today we are going to explore how I manage our 4 organizations that we have, and then of course how I keep balance with my family and the other important things in my life. Basically my thoughts on how I'm productive, how I keep tension on the organizations, how I've systematized the organizations, 3 of those organizations, to fully run on their own. They've got operators, they've got employees in place, and then of course my 4th one that I'm currently building and actively involved in at the moment, which will eventually become systematized. And really just my thoughts on how to maintain a productive lifestyle, not get stuck in the quicksand of too much unproductive work that's just busy work, and how to just keep balance. And my first thought for you guys is 2 things. My first thought is this. By no means, guys, is my schedule going to work for everybody. There's gonna be a lot of people that this just does not make sense for. I just know that this works really well for me. It allows me to build multiple things in life at the same time. It allows me to keep my sanity most of the time. And it allows me the window that I need in order to constantly kind of invest into the next thing that I wanna be building. And secondly, I wanna start off with one very specific thought, which is, this is gonna come unexpected, but there's power in surrender, guys. Okay? If you are a CEO, if you are a business owner, I wouldn't have even said this a couple years ago, because what I've built through, you're controlling everything, but you're also like letting go of a lot of control and letting other people do stuff. And so that's a very counterintuitive thing. But I would say just in terms of balance and feeling happy every day, guys, something that I've been leaning more and more into is this idea of just surrendering. And I know that's almost a religious kind of term. I don't mean it necessarily in a religious way, but it's more of a heartfelt thing. Probably one of the biggest things that I am reminding myself a lot of times throughout every day is just surrender. Things don't need to be perfect. Yes, people need to be held accountable, but there's happiness and there's peace in surrendering. In many ways, guys, just means to give up control. And one thing that I've found is you can build an organization and hold people accountable and allow people to do what they're doing without and give up control in the middle of it. And I got to tell you that even though I'm keeping an eye on everything that's happening with the organizations, there is a certain sense of happiness that comes from giving up extreme control over what's happening with everything. Kind of a weird thought, but I think that it brings a lot of happiness into our lives. So as soon as you give up control, it makes it easier for your subconscious mind and your intuition to kind of take over, and you kind of almost get a sixth sense about the things that you really should be doing in the business. I think when you try to control things at a really super high extreme level, you lose your intuition, you lose that sixth sense about just the subsurface things that are happening in your organization. So by surrendering and giving up extreme control, it almost gives you a sixth sense on your business, an intuitive sixth sense. Hard to explain, but just food for thought. Also, if you're new to this channel is dedicated to helping people build businesses in construction or the skilled trades, starting with the idea phase and scaling all the way to $10 million in annual revenue over the course of a 10-year period, and helping people build the right systems, building the right functions, building the right procedures, building the right team, defining your company culture and your team, making sure that you have the right metrics in place for cultivating the right kinds of sales leads and closing the kinds of contracts that will really take you to that highest degree of what you can do with your business. This channel is devoted to all kinds of stuff like that and helping you really get the right system in place in order to scale your business. Learning that skill set and understanding how to do that is of interest to you, consider liking and following along. We put out quite a bit of regular content. Okay, so let's start by pulling up a chart that's going to break down my organization. So in a nutshell, my organization, I've got Inside Out Creative, which was the first thing I founded. This is a marketing agency. We build a whole bunch of websites and we do marketing related stuff for larger companies, okay? Inside Out Creative is fully systematized. Ephraim basically manages all of our clients over there. And I have very little involvement for the most part at this point. We've got a couple hundred clients and the whole thing pretty much just runs on its own at this point. I just get an update later in the day every day. You'll see it when I pull up my full weekly schedule, but I basically just have one conversation once a day, not even sometimes every day, a couple times a week, just on what's happening. I see the emails flying, I'm CC'd on all that stuff, but I really have very little involvement with Inside Out Creative at this point. Secondly, I've got Blastcraft, and Blastcraft is a sandblasting and painting company. We started this company a couple years ago. It's doing about somewhere between $1 and $2 million a year in annual revenue. And Blastcraft we are looking to scale Blastcraft to 10 million. And I will humbly admit, we have not hit 10 million. We're not even close to 10 million yet, but I can see how how starting to acquire the commercial work and the commercial clients and the systems we're putting in place and the procedures and the different things that we're doing, Blastcraft is on its way to a $10 million a year business. It could maybe even scale to 20 or 50 million over time, because what we're currently doing is working. And I can see that if we just double down on it and get bigger contracts, and if we're bonded for bigger work over time, this whole thing is just going to keep shifting up bigger and bigger and bigger. And as long as we manage our cash flow, which is probably the most important thing right now, there's probably no reason why Blastcraft won't go on to be quite a bit of a bigger business. But it's fully systematized, and Tyler is currently running those operations over there. Once again, I get 1 or 2 phone calls from him a day later in the afternoon. These guys never contact me. So Inside Out Creative and Blastcraft, the guys never contact me in the morning. And also with Zwingler Capital, which is ran by my wife, Alicia, this is also fully systematized. So Blastcraft is its own independent entity. And now after a couple years, it's fully running just based on the operator that's in place and the employees that are actually doing the work. And I probably have maybe an hour a day invested into Blastcraft later in the afternoon when I actually get on calls with my operator, Tyler, and get an update on what's happening with the different projects. We look at the cash flow statement, we look at the P&L, we look at the different projects that are going on. We talk about team dynamics and what's happening with the customers, stuff like that over the course of that hour. But it's typically later in the afternoon that we have that conversation, and I have complete freedom all the way up until that conversation to basically do whatever I want with my time. Zwingler Capital is what Alicia and I started about 1.5 years ago, where we're taking all of our extra income and we're buying up real estate. So Zwingler Capital is designed as kind of our retirement plan, where we're buying, small multifamily apartment complexes and single family homes and stuff like that. We're actually looking to save up and maybe get a bigger apartment complex in the next year or two. But Zwingler Capital is also fully systematized because we have a property manager in place that manages all of our property, and they basically take care of all the problems and they report to Alicia on those problems and just kind of keep her updated on what needs to be fixed or what's happening. But all the tenants, we've got really good tenants in all of our properties. They pay their rent on time around the 1st of the month. That all gets deposited into our account at the 1st of the month. And then we pay our mortgages and we pay our bills. And then there's a certain amount of cash flow that's left over. And also over time, we've noticed that our properties are starting to appreciate in value. And so that is kind of a back-end entity that, because we have a great property manager that basically runs everything over there and takes care of everything. Alicia is technically the operator, but she really only has to work a couple hours a month on what's happening with that and just kind of keep an eye on the finances. But aside from that, it's fully systematized and we're adding to that portfolio over time. First, we've got Inside Out Creative, then we got Blastcraft, then we've got Zwingler Capital, and then right now what I'm currently working on is the YouTube channel, because I really want to develop a network of 250 to 300 videos here to start out, maybe more after that, but I really want to focus on getting 250 videos that are going to truly break down how to start a business in the skilled trades and scale it to $10 million a year in annual revenue. Because most of these small general contractors that I know have very, very limited understanding of how to actually build a business. They know how to work with their hands, but they don't really know how to work on their business. So this YouTube channel is dedicated to teaching a business owner how to pull themselves out of their business, look at their business, and start to work on their business and systematize their business so that their business can scale to $10 million in annual revenue. Okay. So that's what we're trying to do with the YouTube channel. And we're going to devote about 250 videos over the next couple of years to that. I'm trying to put out 5 to 10 videos a month for the next couple of years. And that is primarily what I'm focused on a day-to-day basis in the mornings and early afternoon. You're going to see with my schedule, because I'm going to lay out my full weekly schedule and how I actually structure my time up here pretty soon in this video. Okay, so before I get into my weekly schedule, which is really the meat and potatoes of this video and actually my methodical approach to structuring my time, there's something really important to mention. There's 2 things that I really want to mention that I think are valuable. The first is, if you followed some of my other videos, you know that I am a big believer in removing 4 core things in your life that basically pollute your mind and pollute your productivity. So those 4 things are, I highly recommend getting rid of alcohol. Like, if at all possible, remove beer and alcohol of any sort, just get rid of it. Secondly, removing smoking and vaping and stuff of that nature, guys. If you watch some of my other videos, especially the videos on how to remove anxiety and stress from your life, I say remove the alcohol, remove the smoking. So number 3 is remove the caffeine from your life. So just get rid of coffee. And number 4 is remove any added sugar. No alcohol, no smoking, no caffeine, no added sugar. If you remove these 4 things, it's like you basically become Superman. It's weird. Try it for 2 months and you will see that literally you will level up your business in such an awesome way. You will be a better husband. You will be a better father. It's really eye-opening and incredible how amazing life is if you just remove these things. And while you're removing those things, there's other things that I found that when I remove those things from my life and I add in these other 4 things, life is like in a perfectly balanced synergy. And so the things that I would recommend adding are working out, walks, something cardio of that nature where you're actually just moving your body on a daily basis, reading and learning. And I kind of put those 2 together because really what I found is that I just read more books. When I get rid of those other 4 things and they just get removed from my life, I start reading more books and I start learning more things. And you just naturally want to. It's weird how that works. So I recommend number 2 is reading and learning. Number 3 is meditation. And really meditation for me is just 10 to 15 minutes a day, just practiced, disciplined time where I am trying to still my mind and just be in the present moment, focusing on my breath. And it allows me to set a new baseline for how calm I am under pressure as I go through the rest of my day. It's weird how it doesn't really seem like it really is that valuable of a thing when you first start out, but after a month or 2, couple months of doing it, it's something that you, just like working out, like you just can't live without. It's such a good thing to have in your life. And then number 4 is creative visualization. With creative visualization, what I'm basically suggesting is you want to be holding in your mind the things that you're working towards on a day-to-day basis. Be super clear in your mind on a physical level, what you're trying to do with keeping your body healthy, on a mental level, what you're trying to do with your businesses, what you're trying to do with your family. Have a creative thought in your mind. Just see visually what you're trying to accomplish and then feed that thought with the desire to actually bring those things to life. And it's incredible how they start to almost like manifest themselves in your life. Okay, so remove the junk, add in the other stuff. And once you've done that, that really starts to set you up to be able to start to lay out how your day is really going to go and how you can be productive in the maximum way possible. First thing I would say is when I look at my schedule, I am delegating 90% of everything. If I could, guys, I would actually delegate pretty much everything. But what you really want to do is you want to look at whether you're running 1 organization or 2 organizations or whatever it is that's on your dashboard, you really need to try to figure out how to delegate 90% of it to other people, okay? So create systems or hire people that you can actually delegate 90% of whatever is normally on your plate. So 90% just goes off my plate. And then the 4 things that I'm really truly focused on a daily basis is 1, visualizing the work that's coming up next. So really having a good solid visualization on exactly where are we going next? What's coming up for Blastcraft, for Inside Out, for Zwingler Capital, for the YouTube channel? What's the next thing? My mind spends a lot of time thinking about what's the next thing. Number 2 is hiring and communicating our values. Guys, I still to this day, I don't trust anybody else to do the hiring. I want the other team members in the organizations to be involved in it, but I like to make sure that we have a good culture fit, that we have people that we're hiring that fit our core values. I want to be involved with the team members that are building our businesses. And I don't always get it right, but I definitely, that's number 2 on my list of things that I am still involved with on a daily basis is the company culture piece of everything that we're doing. Number 3 is making sure we have sufficient cash. Guys, this is arguably the most important. I do check the bank accounts a lot and I do plan for how much money is coming in versus how much money is going out. I meet with Alicia, who is kind of in charge of the cash flow statements and the P&Ls. And on a weekly basis, I am looking at the cash flow position of our companies and making sure that we have enough cash in the bank that we never run into a cash flow problem and there's always money to pay employees, to pay our bills. And I feel like that's part of what my role is, to make sure that we never run into a cash flow issue where we have to shut down a business or treat people the wrong way because we don't have the right cash in order to keep things running smoothly. Cash is truly the lifeblood of your organization and you need to protect it. You need to make sure that you have it and you need to deploy it, intelligent design and methodical thoughts about how it should be used. I'm basically just involved in the biggest decision. So outside of the current project that I'm working on, with everything else that I'm doing, I'm really just involved in the biggest decisions. I will have my operators call me and say, hey, we're getting ready to land this $100,000 contract, or hey, this is happening, or hey, this customer, this really high-end customer is really creating problems for us. What would you suggest? So I'm definitely involved in some of the hardest decisions that the companies are going through. And so there is a certain amount of time that's dedicated towards that. All right. Now, it's taken a while to get to this point, but let's go ahead and jump into my schedule. So we're going to pull up my schedule, and as you can see, we're going to lay it out Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Bam, there it is. I know it looks very overwhelming. Let's break this down in a simple way. Okay, guys? So we're going to select Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Let's look at those 3 days first. All 3 of those days are the exact same thing every single day. Every day I start my days basically around 3 a.m. I do not have an alarm clock, guys. I just wake up. I just wake up 3 a.m. Sometimes I wake up at 2 a.m. Sometimes I wake up at 1 a.m. I rarely wake up later than 3 a.m. If I do, maybe 4 a.m., but it's right around 3 a.m. every single day I wake up, and I just basically, my subconscious mind is in a very unique spot. So I spend a lot of time at that point reading, meditating. I will write emails, and I will look at financial stuff. Then at 5 o'clock, the kids are starting to wake up and Alicia needs some help. And I really like to have involvement with the kids earlier in the morning, okay? Around 5 o'clock, Alicia's still typically in bed until 5:30, 6 o'clock. Alicia's my wife, just so you know. So a lot of times I'm in charge of the kids when they first wake up. So I'm in charge of getting them up, making sure we've got young kids, very, very young kids, toddlers and babies. I'm in charge of watching the kids, making sure that they have breakfast in the morning, doing the dishes, taking out the trash, and then also very responsible for eating healthy meals myself. So a lot of that time is, believe it or not, 2 hours of just spending time with the kids, playing with the kids, getting the kids cleaned up, getting them into the kind of clothing that they're going to be wearing for the day and all that stuff. And it gives Alicia, she can wake up and she can get a shower, she can work out. She has some time to herself first thing off the bat. So Alicia has time for herself first thing in the morning. So for the first hour and a half, 2 hours, she can just do whatever she wants. She can work out, she can take a shower, she can get herself fixed up, she can make her own breakfast, but she has that time to herself while I'm taking care of the kids. And then around 7 o'clock, I hand the kids off to her and I go and I work out, okay? And I work out for about an hour. So I get a good workout from 7 to 8 o'clock. So by 8 o'clock, Monday, Wednesday and Friday, I have already eaten and I have already worked out and I've spent time with the kids and I've done a bunch of other personal stuff. Okay, so by 8 o'clock, I am ready to really invest my time into the most productive things that I'm going to do for the day. Right now, my current project is building YouTube. In the past, it's been building Blastcraft or building Inside Out, or at one point we had Retrox, which was a men's watch and apparel company. We sold that company. What I like to do is I like to spend from about 8 in the morning until 2 in the afternoon. It's a big block of time. It's 6 hours, guys, 5-6 hours. And I like to really double down on my current project, the thing that I'm really trying to push forward and really trying to bring to life and really trying to build out. And I find that this is the time of my morning when I'm the most focused and I'm really able to make progress and be intentional. Side tip on this, guys, what I typically do is I put my phone on Do Not Disturb. So basically nobody can reach me over this time. Like literally nobody can reach me. So nobody even really tries to call me at this point. A lot of times I don't even have missed calls because everyone knows that I'm just not reachable until the afternoon. Around 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, I start to feel myself slow down. Keep in mind, I've been up since 3 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning. So I start to feel myself slow down. And so I'll typically go and get another workout in. Okay. And this time I'll do cardio. Sometimes I'll do the sauna. On a good day, on most days, I get a good solid workout in. I spend a certain amount of time in the sauna and I also do some cardio. I'll run on the elliptical or something like that for 45 minutes. I get a second workout in. The gym is only 3 minutes from my house. So there's not a lot of commuting. I can shoot down there relatively quickly and I don't waste a lot of time traveling. And for me, I actually find that having this second workout is very conducive to me being productive in the afternoon. So I like to break it up, take a break. Even though it seems like I'm wasting an hour there, I'm actually recharging myself so that I go into the second half of my day on a full charge. I get back from that workout and I am totally in the zone for another 3-4 hours. Okay. So I get back from the workout and I spend an hour on the phone with my operator for Tyler for Blastcraft. He gives me the lowdown on everything that's been happening with Blastcraft for the day, the customers that we're dealing with, the projects that we have going on, the money that we're collecting, everything. I just get a quick verbal download. Sometimes it takes a half an hour, sometimes it takes an hour. And I will also spend that time helping him if there's any sort of complicated problems that he needs my help with. Then I get off that call and I talk to Ephraim, who is my operator over on the Inside Out Creative side. He tells me what's happening with the different websites we're building over there and the customers that we're maintaining. And at this point, we're not bringing on a lot of new customers. So we're just maintaining our current client base of a couple hundred companies that we've built websites for, and we've done hosting and we do maintenance for them at this point. So he gives me an update on what's happening there. We kind of discuss what we're doing. And then he's also involved in buildupuniversity.com, which is our membership website for the YouTube channel. So he's involved with the analytics there and what's happening, make sure that that website's running smoothly and making sure that we're starting to build a really successful thing over there on that website. So Blastcraft for an hour, inside out creative for an hour. And by that time, it is about 5 o'clock and 4:30, 5 o'clock. And I basically go into the rest of my evening where I spend time with Alicia. I spend time with the babies. We will sit down. We will have dinner as a family sometimes not, but we typically have dinner around that time. We'll take a walk. We'll go to the park afterwards. And then after the babies go down around 7 o'clock, we spend a couple hours together watching movies and just hanging out. Okay. So there's a whole chunk of time in the evening where I'm just hanging out with Alicia and spending time, and I'm not actually working at all, guys. So by 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon, I am like legit done. And by that time, I've already worked a 12-hour day. So I've gotten a lot done by that time. Okay. So that is Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Tuesday's a little bit different. It pretty much runs the same in the afternoon, as you can see. The only thing that's different in the morning is Tuesday morning, where I typically work on the YouTube channel or whatever that big project is. I actually sit down with Alicia and we analyze all the back-end analytics and everything that's going on at the company. So we look at the cash flow statements, the P&Ls. We work on some of the more complicated technical issues that are happening with the companies. As you find with running multiple organizations, there'll be challenging, problematic, time-consuming problems that come up that most people in the organization have no idea how to fix. And Alicia will work on those kinds of things. Like if we have fraud tied to a certain credit card, and that credit card is tied to all of our company accounts, and we have to figure out how to get that one piece of fraud off without having to cancel the whole credit card and set all those reoccurring payments up for 150 other companies and stuff like that. And really looking at financials. And a lot of times, Alicia and I, if we don't have a lot that we need to do, which we pretty much always have a lot that we need to do, but we will also work on big things that we're trying to make more progress on, things that I'm typically very weak in. I've got certain skill sets that I'm very weak in that Alicia's very complementary to. And so she will help me with certain things that I know that I struggle with on a technical side of things. Okay. So we spend time together, and then we typically have lunch together. And then once again, afternoon runs just like every other afternoon. Okay. Thursday is also a little bit different because we switch up our afternoon, and Thursday afternoon is date night with Alicia. And so I kind of finish early and we take a couple hours. We drop the babies off with the grandparents and we take a couple hours to just go have a late lunch or an early dinner, and we have a couple drinks, and we will just sit there and talk and laugh and try to disconnect from the craziness of life. And just, it's really quality time. Alicia and I are both quality time people, and we really enjoy having a Thursday afternoon. And Thursday seems to work good, guys, because there's a lot of people that care about our kids, our grandparents and family members. And Thursday is a good night for them because typically people make plans on Friday and Saturday and Sunday. So Thursday is a good night to have the kids be watched by somebody that we know and trust, a family member or a grandparent typically. And Thursday is a good day to do that. And because our schedule is flexible and we can kind of go on our date night on whatever day we want, we typically pick Thursday. Okay. Now on Saturday and Sunday, I like to work a half day because I get bored. Okay. So I don't know if you're that way, but I wake up at 3 a.m. every single day. I never use an alarm clock. I just wake up. So that doesn't change on Saturday and Sunday. I wake up, I do my reading, meditation, all that stuff. I do a nice big workout where I do workout, sauna, and cardio. And after that, I just basically use my Saturday and Sunday in the morning to do a nice catch up on stuff, emails that were lower quality or lower priority things. I'll get caught up on emails that are a couple days behind and just lower priority stuff. I'll spend time on YouTube stuff, just playing catch up or trying to make a little bit of extra progress. And then right around noon, I just basically spend my entire afternoon with the family and the kids. So Alicia has the kids in the morning. She'll go out and go to the library and hang out at the park and stuff and all that stuff. And then in the afternoon, we do stuff as a family. We'll go to the park. We'll go and explore different places. We'll go to a restaurant, whatever we do. So that is my schedule. 3 a.m. until about 9 o'clock at night when I crash. That is how I structure my day. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday are my big driver days where I make a lot of progress. Tuesday is also a big progress day. Thursday is typically I start to let off the gas a little bit. And then weekends are easier, but still have interesting stuff going on in the morning. And so also just a quick call out for Blastcraft, guys. Blastcraft is our sandblasting and painting company. We do big commercial work. I don't know if there's any general contractors that watch my videos, but consider us, we do work nationwide. We have mobile units that come out and do big commercial projects. And if you have any big commercial projects that need to be restored, where you're just taking rust off of stairwells on apartment complexes, or you're resurfacing some sort of big concrete project, just know that Blastcraft is a really quality company. We've got a really good company culture. We got really dependable guys. And if you need somebody to come out and help you with a sandblasting project, if it's a bigger commercial project, we would be very interested in talking to you about it. Anything that's $50,000 or more, we typically come out and we can travel to you and work with you on that project to get it completed. So consider Blastcraft. I'm going to go ahead and have a little bit of a scroll down. And of course, Inside Out Creative is a company that can build you a really high-end website if you've got a company in construction or the skilled trades and you don't want to go the $1,000 round, which is on build up that we can do for you, and you want a big, nice website, consider Inside Out Creative, which is our other company, which helps companies in the skilled trades build really high-end quality websites for their skilled trades companies. That's what we've been doing for almost a decade now. We're probably one of the best in the business when it comes to actually building quality company websites in the skilled trades. We know what it's like to work with company CEOs in the skilled trades and operators, and we just know the kind of website they actually really need. All right. So with that being said, I am going to wrap this down. Guys, my highest value thing that I can tell you is just block out your mornings. Block out your mornings and make the biggest progress that you can. Get your phone on Do Not Disturb, block out time, and then just get focused on the next thing. The big thing that you're trying to accomplish every week, that should be your whole morning. And then afternoons can be other stuff. You shouldn't be doing a lot of meetings. Your operators of your businesses should be doing all the meetings, okay? My operators do 15, 20 meetings a day. I'm in basically none of them. And when I'm building something new, I'm in meetings for the new thing that I'm building. But once I get it fully systematized, I hire an operator to run my different organizations, and then they do all the meetings. And then they tell me how the meetings went. So if you're the kind of CEO that's stuck in a lot of meetings every day, I highly recommend blocking out your morning, delegating all that stuff to somebody else that's going to start handling all those meetings. Block out your morning to be working on the next big thing that you're really trying to accomplish in life. Okay. Hopefully this video has served you in some way. Hopefully there's been some value in it. I'm not preaching at the best way to do it. I just know that this has been highly effective for me. It allows me to run 4 different organizations and have plenty of time to spend with my family, which helps balance everything out and make life happy and enjoyable and not so crazy, not so stressful. And I wish you the best. And even though I'm sitting here from afar, I truly am rooting for you guys, and I want you to succeed in whatever you're building. And hopefully this schedule will help give you some thoughts on how you could potentially restructure for a better life and a better business that's being run in a more efficient way. Okay, on to the next.